Think your morning cereal is harmless? It could be silently starving your gut, wrecking your energy, mood, and digestion. But here's the twist. It's not about cutting carbs or quitting breakfast altogether. Today, I will show you the ultimate gut-loving breakfast you can prep on Sunday night in just a few minutes for you and the whole fam. And it'll be ready for your whole work week. Hi guys, I'm Leilani. I'm a chef, I'm a clinical nutritionist, and I'm here to make great gut health doable daily, even for busy people like you. So today we're gonna do the most gut healthy bircher muesli. Before you tune away, just give it a go, because not only is this fantastic for you, but it's got all the different elements. I'm gonna talk you through it as I'm making it. It's 5 minutes prep. Put it in the fridge. You got to soak it overnight for be the best for your gut, and your kids can just grab and go with it on the way, on the bus, on the way to school, on the way to work, whatever. It is really, I'm converted, and it took me a while, but this is the ultimate recipe. So let's get into it. You got all the ingredients here. I'll walk you through it, but let me tell you, the star of the show, the Beyonce of breakfast, are oats. So if you don't do anything else, you gotta have the oats. You gotta have the rolled oats, not the steel cut, ideally not the quick one. You want the organic rolled oats. Organic just because they're highly sprayed generally. They're only a few extra bucks, yeah? The reason these are so good is they have beta-glucan in it. It's a soluble fiber. It acts as food for the good gut bugs. It produces butyrate, and that can basically help heal your gut lining. So this is the one thing, if you don't use anything else, you got to use this. So we've got a bowl, okay, and it's very flexible in terms of quantity, sort of how you like it, but I don't normally measure, but I'm doing this for you. So I'll put about a cup in. I'm making a small quantity today, but I would do 4 times this and keep it for the work week. So oats go in. Second up, now I'm going to use organic coconut milk. You don't have to go organic so much with coconut, but it was there and I took this one. The reason I use coconut milk and not dead dairy, and if there's one thing that you really take away from this, is I'm all for balance, but milk is really not good for you. I do a whole thing in my course about it if you want to know more, but essentially it's very mucus producing. So if you tend to get a lot of the sinus things, the sore throat, the headaches, the ears, that's that kind of inflammatory process that happens in the body. So it's just really congesting, and it can come out in your skin as well. So I'm going to swap it today for coconut milk, and I use coconut milk more than cream because it's not as coconutty, but coconut has MCT, which is medium chain triglycerides, and that helps actually fight the bad guys. Let me put it like that. I'll keep it simple. It helps fight the bad guys. You can put whatever quantity you want. I tend to find that I go about 1.5 times to double the amount of liquid because I like it. I may as well just finish the can there, because I like it to be a little bit softer, but you could do, I've done it equal parts of like liquid to coconut milk as well, and that works fine. It's just a little bit more thick, and I like mine runny. So now to that, I'm going to add a little bit of salt, iodized salt, to get that iodine, which is critical for thyroid health, and it's so hard to get in our daily diet. Now, what else are we going to add? I'm going to add something sweet. This is optional, but traditional bircher muesli does have apple, and you could add honey, but if I add a little bit of apple juice, then I find I don't need honey, and it also marries with the apple that I'm going to add in there. It's optional, but I do think it actually makes it a lot nicer, because you've got the good fats from the coconut, and you sort of want something a little bit tart or acidic to cut through it, and that's what this does. So I'll put probably about half a cup in there. And I like the I don't know, I get the clean brand, Nudie brand. It's got no additives and stuff like that. So it's great. Now, we got cinnamon here. You might be like, that's kind of boring, but let me tell you, cinnamon is like the quiet kid in the classroom who is actually a superhero, all right? Cinnamon, it regulates blood sugar levels, it feeds good microbes, and it reduces gas and bloating. And let's be honest, that's never a good thing, especially when you're out in public. I will put about half a teaspoon in there because I just think it's fantastic. So I'll put that in there. I'm going to add a few other stuff. So chia seeds, these are like all the rage. So I'm sure you know about it. They're tiny little powerful packets of omega-3. And this actually just helps keep you regular, which we've seen the ads, but let me tell you why that's important is your bowels is an elimination pathway. Let's be honest, we live in such a toxic world. So one of the best things you can do, and I'm going to bring a talk out on this soon about how to improve get your stools moving around, your bowels moving, because that's going to take the toxins that we inevitably eat and it's going to get it out of your body before it recirculates through your bloodstream to your brain and to your organs. So chia. I don't love chia. I find that's kind of gel-like. I don't want to use the word slurry, but I just want a little bit in there because I don't love it. So I usually put about a spoon per jar. So there's probably about 3 jars in there. So I'll put that. What else we got here? PHGG. Now, if you've bought my course, you know that I love this. You've always got to check with your doctor before you start using supplements. In saying that, this is one of the safer gut healthy supplements on the market. It's like cheap as chips. It sounds PHGG. It's actually partially hybridized guar gum, which sounds like a foreign Frankenstein food, but it's not. It's really good for you. It's made from guar beans, and it reduces bloating. It also helps your gut bugs make butyrate, so that helps lower inflammation and even help fix the gut wall. And I do these analogies where you are the royalty in your castle and your gut is your castle wall. So you want that to be really strong, and this helps. And you don't need very much. And particularly if you're starting out on a supplement like this, don't take much. And if it does cause sort of bloating or gas, you want to scroll back or stop. So I'm down to the last little slither of this packet, but normally I'd put about 2 tablespoons in there. Actually, what we'll do is we'll just dump it all out. Now, I want to just say 90% of serotonin, your feel-good hormone, is produced in the gut, or up to, let's say, which is a lot, right? It's heaps. And so if your gut is not in a good place, your brain, your mood, your energy, all of those neurotransmitters, they're not going to be working that well. Yeah. So try to just bring in 1 or 2 gut healthy ingredients into your everyday meals. And I promise you, it will make a difference to your health, not just your gut. Your gut is connected to everything. All right, let's move on. So my son is kind of on that dairy-free side because he gets, well, we won't go into the details, but anyway, he can't have dairy. So I'm doing a dairy-free version. You can use regular yogurt. I'm going to use coconut yogurt today. And one, I love coconut. It's a fantastic, good fat for you. But why I'm using yogurt or coconut yogurt or something that's fermented, so it could be kefir, it could be the brine from sauerkraut, kombucha, it could be kind of anything that's got those live bacteria in it, which are good, by the way, is I'm going to put that in and we're going to sit this overnight, and that is actually going to help break down all the components in it, but particularly the oats. So it makes them easier to digest, and all the nutrients, particularly micronutrients like the zinc, magnesium, iron, they will be more bioavailable when you eat them. You'll get less bloating, you'll get less gas, if you get any at all. So while you can have this before the overnight period, I would suggest definitely go at least overnight. This can keep sort of 3 to 4 days, depending on the apple goes a bit weird after 2 days. So I would take the apple out, not the apple juice, but the actual apple if you're going to keep it for the 4 or 5 days. And I wouldn't go further than that. But we're just going to put a spoon of this in because oats have a compound. You don't need much. You need like probably a spoon, a big spoon. Oats have a compound called avenin, and it is like gluten, but not gluten. It's a similar protein. If you are super, super, super sensitive, like celiac sensitive, which you can test for, ask your doctor, but realistically, 1 to 2% of the population have that. So if that's the case, then yeah, I wouldn't recommend having oats probably, but naturally, oats are gluten-free. So this one is just if you're really, really, really on that sensitive side, maybe not, you know. Okay, I'm going to mix it better after, but I'll just work through a couple more things. Currants. Now, I've got lots of red stuff going here. I've got pomegranates. You don't have to do this. I just had these, and I'm going to tell you why. They're anti-aging. But on a side note, traditionally and cheaply, because this is a super cheap dish, yeah? It's so cheap. It's so good for you. You can make it in 5 minutes and have breakfast for the rest of the week. Like, it's a winner, really. And I do this spin with alternative weeks with, say, peanut butter in it or a nut butter like ABC, because I like the Brazil nuts, got the selenium. And then with a bit of cacao, like natural chocolate, peanut chocolate. Like, who doesn't love that mix, you know? Anyway, currants, back to currants. They feed a species called Akkermansia. You would have heard me talk about that. This is like your wall repair guy, okay? This is the species that help repair your gut wall, and they are linked clinically to weight loss. So doesn't mean if you eat a whole bucket of this, you're gonna have heaps of Akkermansia. No, they just need traces amount of kind of like that red purple food. Put that in there. It also adds a little bit of sweetness. So what else we got? Apple. This is kind of optional. Like I said, it is traditional, but I'm just going to grate a little bit of it. I buy them organic, so I'm going to keep the skin on. Okay, put that inside. Yeah, I love having something fresh in my meals. It's also got the live enzymes, so all that's going to help break down, just help with the digestion, break down the nutrients so it's more bioavailable. I'm going to show you what it looks like so far. Maybe not that beautiful yet. We'll give it a mix, but how quick was that? Like, honestly, super, super quick. So I give it a mix and I make a big portion of this. Like I said, on a Sunday night, and I get these jars. So I've got this one. I'm not going to put it in this jar, but normally I would put it in this size. I got them from the op shop. I bought like 10 of them for $10. They're $1 each. And I do this, and what I'll do is I'll fill it to about here, and then I'll top it with all this good stuff. Yeah, and then I'll just put them in the fridge. The only thing I would add is the nuts I add later because they go a bit soft. But the fruit you can add at that time, but just the nuts in the morning, you might want to put it on top. And let me tell you, it is something so lovely to have crunch with every meal. So always think about when I'm putting a plate together, what's something crunchy and really healthy that I can add? So I'll just plate this up here. So I'm just going to plate this up, and it is not very thick right now, but once you put it in the fridge, I promise you, and the oats swell a little bit, it does get thicker. Let's use this guy. So just know that when I put it in the fridge and bring it out, it's not going to be quite this runny. So there's that, but let me make it look a little more beautiful, and I want to talk you through something. I'm going to add these nuts. I love macadamias, monounsaturated. They're Australian, so like they're brilliant. But this, I activated a range of nuts, walnuts. I put Brazil nuts, pepitas, and I can't stress how important to soak or germinate or activate your nuts and legumes is for your health. I think it's actually one of the main reasons we can't break down grains. And if you've ever eaten a nut and you eat it and it's powdery and you sort of don't want to finish it, it's a chore, that is a sign that the plant is telling you, don't eat that. So you'll find that once you soak it overnight, and it's on my gut health course actually, I'll put the link below, but soak it overnight, put it into a low 50-degree Celsius oven or dehydrator for this was just an hour afterwards. Man, they're delicious. Like, I tell you what, just because I'm a nutritionist doesn't mean like always eat healthy food. I actually don't eat. I probably eat healthy food about 70% of the time and then whatever I want. But I'm not a fan of nuts unless they're activated. You can buy them activated. They just cost a lot of money, I tell you. Also, another thing with alternative milks, like, let me know if you want me to do a course on that or a class on that, because I love to talk about alternative milks because I'm not a huge fan of dairy. Some dairy, yes, some dairy, no. It can be really pro-inflammatory or anti-inflammatory, basically healthful or hurtful to your body. So I'm all about taking the meals you love and twisting them around and making them good for your gut. So also just let me know, send me an email, send me a DM, send me a comment of if there's a meal that you want me to transform. Because I'm coming up with mac and cheese is what I'm working on now. So I've got some raspberries. They're one of the most gut healthy berry you can get. I've also got frozen berries. It doesn't look that beautiful. I will put frozen berries because let's be honest, they're way cheaper. And I'll put them straight into the jar and it gets a little bit juicy. So you might want to sprinkle a bit of honey on that if your berries are super tart. But berries are another thing I do recommend. It could be the pomegranate, it could be blackberries, it could be raspberries. They have a compound called anthocyanins in it. Anthocyanins, the compound that's in this, they feed a bacteria species or clan called Ruminocosia. I can see it, I can't necessarily say it, but that is like the cleaning crew for your colon. And that's a great thing. So it just helps come along and sweep through all that kind of debris that needs to get out of your system and not recirculate. And they feed up Akkermansia, anything red. And pomegranates, if you want to one-up that, pomegranates have an anti-aging compound in it called urolithin A. So I talk about that in my latest talk on anti-aging nutrients and supplements. So go and check that out. I might put the card up for you guys. But yeah, so this is a mix of fresh and frozen. I must say, it's looking pretty sexy. I'll show you in a minute. And even my stained red hands. Nah, it's all good. It's all part of the job. All right, so have a look at my bircher. This is one of the most, if not the most, gut healthy breakfast you can make. And try it at home. I'd love to see your comments and thoughts on my recipe. Until next time, see you later.